Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about an extension that I created for Burp Suite, uh, and and I just use my own logo here, ZAP. But basically, what it does is, as you all know, it Burp Community doesn't give you an option to scan because it's a community version. If you want to scan, you have to pay for the license and the license, like last time I checked, if you like a few years ago, it's like 450 or something. But in my professional workplace, usually I would have a license assigned so I don't have to worry about it. But if I'm doing any kind of bug bounty programs or something, I don't want to spend a lot of money on, uh, you know, like, because of 450 or I don't know, maybe it might be even higher now. 500 is not even one-time fee, right? It's a yearly fee. You have to renew it every year. So, in my opinion, that's a steep price to pay for. If you can do it using the free version and also another open source version like ZAP, I think that's the best way to go. Especially if you're doing bug bounty. Like I said, if it's a professional environment, usually they would assign you some kind of license. And also, if you're independent contractor, it would be best to have a professional software like Burp Suite. That would be reasonable at that point to pay for the license. In any case, what I did is I actually created an extension, two extensions. One is actually to kick off. The community version doesn't have any scanning features, right? If I go up here, basically automatically does crawl, but crawl is just going through the different endpoints to kind of create the site tree. It doesn't technically it doesn't scan. So if you want to scan, in the past, what I was doing is I was just using for that kind of feature, or if you use intruder, for instance, if I kick this off now, uh, you see this saying this is a demo version. Some of the functionality is disabled and is throttled. And if I click OK, you'll see the numbers are like slow. Especially if you have most word lists would have kind of like you would have 10,000s of entries, right? This one has 100,000. You might even have 100,000 because brute forcing is going to take a long time. You would want this thing to go faster, like within a second, maybe go through at least like 5 or 6 or 7 entries. But this is like almost like every second, even maybe even taking longer. But it is throttled, and I notice sometimes it even goes kind of slower. In any case, a lot of the functionality is actually um, this is throttled, and also if you try to use Collaborator, it is actually locked as well, the Pro version. Now for Collaborator, you can use an open source service called InteractSH, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is about the scanning feature. Like it doesn't have any scanning feature. What I did is I used, now Burp has, they give you, the good thing about Burp is the good thing about Burp obviously is just an extension. You can create an extension that does something. And ZAP, they expose the API, and they give you the program generates an API key. You can use that and not you don't have to open two applications at once. You can use this, and this would actually start the service and start the scan. What my extension does is it gives you a nice progress bar. As a matter of fact, I have an application open. Let me go ahead, and this is my application. The usual application, which is if I go back, Pinewood Store. I've been using. So I can kind of demo it now. Let me go ahead and start the scan. As you can see here, it does have a nice progress bar, and it shows you what it is doing here. The first part is spidering through the site to find the different endpoints. Then it starts sending a payload. And even if I actually go up here, you can see there's a lot of like activity going on the console log of my application because it's receiving a lot of payloads from ZAP for different vulnerabilities. It's testing the vulnerability. Now, this is what it does, and this is one of the extensions that I created, and I just gave it a customized logo because I just trying to make it different, I guess. And on the extension, I did give an option where somebody chooses a different logo, they can just browse to it, or whatever they want, and they can just save it, and it saves into the settings. And next time when they load or they restart Burp, it would actually keep this configuration. The other one that I created is called ZAP Report, and this is the same thing. It will have a configuration where you have an option, maybe choose a different port. Obviously, you need the API key. And the report options does give you a lot of report options. You can choose HTML, XML, and I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, this is what the extension does, and the extension is based off a Python code and that I created. The hardest part is honestly like the UI functionality, because Burp uses a library called Jython 2.7, which is a little bit older compared to the latest version of Python, which is I believe is 3.6 or something. But yeah, you end up refactoring a lot of stuff and it won't work as you expected. Um, and the way to go about it is obviously if you have some idea about Python, is it does automate a lot of stuff, and you can you can import the libraries using Jython. Um, if we look at, let me open up so right now I have my ZAP is running on port 8082. If you go up here, and this is, as you can see, ZAP Proxy ZAP, it does have a local API. And for the different functionality, it gives you the endpoint. Let's say the one that I use for this is scan. This is just a scanning, and it's going to give you the different endpoints. If you want to, let's say, pause a scan, this is an endpoint. You click on it, and you're just gonna provide the API key and just pause it, the scan ID. So it gives you an idea of what the endpoints would be. And you can use this information, you can use that information in your Python script and create an extension. Basically, that's what I did. I created the extension, and it's able to do a lot of stuff. Right now, the scan is going, and I'm gonna let it finish. But let's look at the report. Now, the report has a nice feature on it where it gives you a summary. This is an extension as well. It gives you a summary, and also gives you the details. Let's say right now I only have high, medium, low information. And if I want to look at a new, let's say I have a new scan that just finished and I want to generate a new report, basically what I do is generate a report. And it will come up here, it starts fetching it from ZAP. The other thing I did, if you're attempting to do something similar, what I recommend is try to, when you're writing the code, make sure you write the code to use a separate thread from the UI. Because initially when I did this, it was using the same thread as the UI, and kind of like when it starts fetching the data, it freezes up. But right now it's using a different thread every time I do that. So I can actually kind of still navigate through and try to do something else while it pulls a report from the database. So yeah, as you can see, it's generating a report, but I'm able to navigate through the tool. So, and that's about it. Let me go ahead and wait for this to come back, and I'll show you the report option. Now, the one I'm going to demonstrate is the template is modern because I kind of like that. It's very detailed and it just looks great. So let me export it to a different folder. That reports. This time I'm going to create a new folder. Save it. This is where this is where it's saved. And this is what it looks like. I do love this template. It looks great. Very detailed and very visual. And it does give you a lot of information, like let's say high vulnerabilities, high severity, cross-site scripting persistent is found, and you can click on it and it does give you detail on what cross-site scripting is, what the URL they tested on, the method it used, and obviously the payload or the attack. So yeah, right now I'm actually kind of finishing up on. I mean, everything is working. The only thing is there's a couple of things I want to improve as far as, but I'll release it once it's complete. But this is what I just want to demo this. The reason why I did this is like for people like me still using the free version and can't afford to pay $500 a year or don't want to pay $500 a year. I feel like this is the best option. You can stay within one tool and also use other features that are not provided by a Burp community, like the scanning feature and the reporting feature. You can use ZAP and incorporate some of the features ZAP offers.